Happy Monday. Happy Monday, everyone. Happy Monday. Hello, kings and queens. Blessings. Same to you. Good afternoon, D. Hey, Auntie. How's everyone doing? Happy Monday. I did miss y'all, but I needed a break, y'all. I need a break. How's everyone doing? Hold on. Let me see. Hold on. Okay. How's everyone doing on this Monday? Auntie, can you hear me? Let me know if you can hear me loud and clear. Put a one in the chat if you can hear me or whoever. Same to you, Christina. Thank you. How are you doing today? Thank you, Auntie. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hey, my lovely Miss Smith. How are you doing, sweetie? Thank you, Christina. Thank you. I hope everyone had a great, great, great weekend. I did, y'all. I relaxed my mind. Oh, this case has really had me drained, and I just needed some time and just relax, And with your own personal life, it's like you got to take a break sometimes. You really do, because there's a lot of twists and turns in this case. It's like I've been in and out, but not that much over the weekend. I just been trying to relax and keep my mind clear. But I enjoyed my weekend, you know. But and I'm not even a TV person, y'all, but I managed to watch a good movie on TV. And I'm not even a TV person, but I did watch a good movie. And I just laid back and relaxed. But yeah, sometimes you gotta take a break. When you cover heavy cases like this, you have to take a break for your mental. You really have to. Because things like this can just, ooh, baby. Y'all, and he was being real. Matter of fact, I'm gonna play it when I finish this one. He was saying what I felt. I just feel like this case is hard. It's a hard one and triggering for me. I took a break too. Yes, you have to take a break. Yes, you have to. You really have to. I mean, every day, 7 days a week, I can't do it. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. I can't bring it to y'all like that 7 days a week. So it's a lot. Um, I don't know. It's just like everybody's still going. And I want y'all to know too, the lady, I can't remember her name, y'all, but the lady that came out with the first sound of the recording of the boat that redacted her video, she is going to be doing an interview with Nancy Grace. I don't know when, but y'all can keep an eye out on it. That's what I heard yesterday, that she's going to be doing an interview with Nancy Grace. So I don't know when it's going to happen, but y'all can keep an eye out for it. And I think this case has become more messy than for Nolan. And I think the reason why I say that, because I think a lot of people don't like people to have their opinions. Yes, I seen that. I think I want to play that. Thank you, sis. As a matter of fact, I was in his live that day, and she's going to be doing one too with Nancy Grace, because Nancy Grace team did reach out to her. Um, Karen, girl, what's going on, my love? And like I told y'all, I love what I do. Y'all know I do. I love it, love it, love it. And I love everybody that, interact with me in my chat. Y'all know who y'all are. I appreciate y'all so much. Um, and y'all know, like, I got to love what I do. Again, I don't get paid from my channel, and I come up here every day on time to bring y'all content on any story I cover. But sometimes it does drain me, it does make me tired, and I have to sometimes just take a break. Um, Sometimes it feels like you going backwards, especially with the yes, 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 absolutely. I definitely agree with that. And I don't understand why people don't let other people have their opinions of what they heard on that video. Maybe everyone is not going to hear the same thing. You understand what I'm saying? Everybody's not going to hear the same thing, but let people have their opinions or what they feel that they heard on that audio. I mean, if somebody come in my chat and say what they heard, I ain't gonna dispute them. Shit, because maybe they did hear it and I didn't. I'm not gonna be, oh yeah, you need to go this and go do that and go listen to it again. I'm not doing all that. No, I'm not, because everybody's entitled to their own opinion again of what they heard on that audio. So I see a lot of people is disputing the girl, and um another content creator, they was dispute. It was a mess over the weekend. I was in and out, y'all, but it was a mess. Oh my god! I mean, it's crazy, man. It is crazy. Yes, just respect other people's opinions. That's it. I'm not gonna downplay nobody's opinion of what they heard on that audio, because maybe that's what they heard and I didn't hear it. But I'm going to say this, y'all. I believe that audio is true. I believe it is true. Whatever comes out of that audio, I believe that audio was true. And another thing, y'all, why is they arguing with this girl? Won't y'all go argue with the guy from the what was that, y'all? Who put the video out? The boat company or whoever they were. They was the first one that dropped the video. So shouldn't y'all have some questions for them? Ask them how they feel about it. What did they hear about it? Some of these platforms. Find out who he was. Interview him. And see how he felt about it. What did he hear in it? He dropped it. So if the video is not true, where did he get it from? That's number one, right? So we got to start off with the person that dropped the video, right? And that was them. Then number two, TMZ dropped it next. We know they big liars anyway. Okay. We know they say one thing and say another one. They wasn't even, telling the truth when I covered that case about Ashley, if I'm saying her name right. They didn't even tell the truth about her. Okay. So we know they be lying all the time. Ain't no sometimes. Okay. So if you want to get on somebody, go to the person that dropped the video. Go to them. They dropped the video first. I'm not gonna say this girl is lying. She don't know what she's doing. She don't know what she's saying. She don't know what she heard. No, I'm not gonna do that. I would never bash her and come on my platform and do that. Never. Okay. And just like she said, I think that was yesterday. She said that, or the day before yesterday. I'm not sure. I don't know who followed her on Instagram. She even put out what she did to remove everything. She went step by step on her Instagram. She posted it. Yeah, she did. Because I seen it. I follow her on Instagram. I forgot her name on Instagram. But I follow her on Instagram. And she went step by step, how she broke everything down, that she wasn't lying about anything. I'm definitely side on TMZ. Girl, you better. Because they snakes. I don't trust none of them. Yeah, me too. Me too. Because she's been getting a lot of threats and stuff too. She really have. She really have. The primary information from the sea told that's where the audio came from. Okay, Karen, I was wondering. Thank you for clarifying that. Thank you, Karen. Okay, so being that Karen verified where it came from, don't y'all think that's what the people that's what they think the people should be going to those people interviewing them and see how they feel about it? Ask them what made them put it out. You know what prompted y'all to put this out? You know, how do y'all feel about it? What did y'all hear in it? What did y'all take from it? Interview them instead of going after people that has um opinions about it. Yeah, I love how she broke it down too. Yeah, yeah. And she did say, she put the GoFundMe up um for a lawyer, just in case she need her a lawyer, you know, and for her safety reasons, security. She was saying all that. I don't know, y'all. I can't remember. Was that yesterday she was saying this stuff, or was that Saturday? I can't remember, but she did say that. And it's stuff like this. Sometimes when people start coming after you, you got to be lawyered up. You really do. But I definitely pray for her and her family. I think she got an excellent wife. Her wife stands by her. You know, um, I think this is a lot of cover up is going on. I do believe it. I'm just gonna be honest. I do believe this is a lot of cover up. Yes, and I want y'all opinion before I do play this clip. I wanted to know, how do y'all feel about the autopsy, the one that haven't came out yet, that we're expecting to come out soon, I guess. What are y'all thoughts on it? What do y'all feel that it's going to say? Do y'all feel that it's going to be a cover up? Um, what's your thoughts about it? I don't trust them, so I'm trying to put in my mind to be prepared for anything that comes out for whatever they say, for whatever reason. Even though I know it's going to be a cover up, because look what we're dealing with. We're dealing with Mississippi. Okay. I would like to know and hear the phone call of the boy's grandfather. Yeah. Oh, that's a good question. That's a good question. Yes. I didn't think about that one. I hope they get all the boys' phone and see all the information, calls, and messages, and and the GPS trackings. Yes, I pray to God for the complete truth. Yes, me too, sis. Me too. But you know what? We know what we's dealing with there. Um, Another lady did speak out this morning. I don't know her name. That she said she feel the governor was wrong to come out and speak the way he spoke. She said she never seen a governor come out and speak on a case like this. Governors normally keep their opinions to themselves and let the local authority handle the situation. She said she was baffled to see that, and she feel that this is not going to go right for the family. So I'm just letting y'all know what I heard her say this morning. Hmm. Yeah. So only thing we gotta do, y'all, is um just be mindful, y'all. Just be ready for anything, because we definitely don't know what they're gonna say when they come out with this autopsy. We definitely don't know. Queen, did you see the TikToker show what the boy's family have deep ties with the government? I seen that. But I don't have TikTok, but someone posted that on Instagram. So that's how I seen that. Yes. Hmm. I'm like, what in the hell? Like, what is really going on here? This is really crazy. This is this is absolutely insane, y'all. And I feel like too, um, they're gonna say that Nolan was highly intoxicated, and someone gonna say that Mr. Potato repeated that he had that stuff in his system again. I don't believe Nolan did anything like that. I just don't believe he would stand up and out in a public place and do anything like that in front of anybody. I don't see that being his character. He know he had a big future up, coming. Let's see. I can't wait till they say Nolan didn't have. Yes, absolutely. I can't wait for that too. Absolutely. Thank you for that comment. The grandfather called the person his phone. You think so, Karen? Karen, I wouldn't be surprised. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I want nothing gonna surprise me right now, y'all. And another thing, y'all. Okay, again, they said I forgot the boy name. They said that he was the one that had the argument with somebody on the boat. They said that he was the one saying, "Give me my effing phone back." Right? Okay. Now, y'all correct me if I'm wrong. Do y'all think the guy that he's supposed to have the argument with, why didn't Mr. Potato interview him? So we can have proof that this guy really did have an argument with someone on the boat. Why this guy haven't came forward and said, yes, me and such had the argument on the boat. That was me. Why he didn't come forward yet? The guy that claimed that they seen Nolan do whatever, where is he at? Now, I'm not saying these people didn't talk to law enforcement, but law enforcement said they evaluated 60 people. Now, my thing is with that, I feel half of those 60 people that law enforcement did evaluate, I feel they're against Nolan. I'm just gonna be honest. I feel they're against Nolan. Um, it's on the audio D. Oh, it is Karen. Okay, okay. I can find it from somebody because a lot of people on TikTok has it. There's not going to be they're not going to be able to lie about the toxicology because we are still waiting on the independent one. I just cannot still believe for the sake of me, y'all. It was so many people. It was so crowded that day, like so crowded. It was the 4th of July. Everybody was out there and nobody didn't see nothing. Where is the people at again that Nolan's supposed to stay behind with? Where is these people? Why haven't these people came out forward to have conversations with people? If Nolan stayed back with some people, was it men? Was it females? Where is these people? Why is these people have not came out and say yes, he stayed back with us? Blah 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 blah. So Bennett, I haven't heard anything from these people, and none of us heard anything from these people. Do y'all actually think that was true? That he really did stay back with some people? I'm just gonna be honest with y'all. Until it's proof, I'm not gonna believe it. But I'm just saying what I'm saying though. They seen something, just not telling. Yes, Warren Line. He's talking about the brother. Wait a minute. Warren Line. He's talking about my brother had a fight. A fight. The brother was Nolan. Don't let that go over your head. Okay, let me read it again, sis. Got you, girl. Warren's. Got you. Got you. So basically, what you're saying, sis, it was no fight with the brother, and he's lying. Let me know if that's what you're saying. I think that's what I get from that. That islands look and nothing were included in bathrooms. You know what? You're right. Where the bathrooms at? How do they use the bathrooms? Like, yeah, you're right. Where was the bathrooms? No, I don't believe he stayed back. I believe they forced him on the boat. Cameron, come on. Clock that. Yes, Cameron. Yes. Where is these people he's supposed to stay back with? Where are they? Are they lost? Did they get lost too? Where are they? I don't believe it. No bathrooms, no food on that land. Karen, I could never go on that land. Karen, Karen, Karen. I'm not messing with nothing, just water. I'm not taking no trip nowhere where a car is not allowed. I'm sorry. I'm not doing it. Maybe everybody else, feel different, but I'm just saying, no, I'm not doing it. Mm-mm. Hey, my auntie Barbara. Now, the leg thing out of the boat, I don't know about that, y'all. I don't know. I don't know if that's Nolan leg. I don't know. It's so much stuff going around and so much stuff out. I don't know. I don't know about that leg situation because that's kind of crazy because she called Nolan. Oh, you right. He called Nolan his brother. So Nolan, the phone saying, "Give me my phone." Got you. Got you. They have people with bigger boats with bathrooms in their boats. Oh yeah. Okay, sis. Okay, you right. You right. Yeah. That's some very big expensive boats. Yeah. Right. You're right. Because when I covered that case, I can't remember the lady name. I think Barbara remember I covered that case about they had a big bathroom, a bedroom down in their boat, and they suspect her husband unalived her. And I never followed up on that case, so I don't know what happened with that case. But yeah, they are saying it's. Oh, Barbara, I seen that this morning. I said, look at and Barbara, Auntie, this is why I don't bring a lot of stuff on my platform because you don't know what's real. Like I said, if it take for 10, 15 people to be in my chat, me being myself, I'm cool with that. I'm not gonna bring y'all no fake stuff because I don't want no backlashes from it. You know what I'm saying? I try to stay honest about a case that I cover and everything. And I'm glad you said that, Barbara. You just confirmed what I always felt because I felt that was fake, and that's why I never spoke on that neither. Thank you so much because I felt like that was fake. Yeah. I just don't like bringing stuff if I don't really, I can't confirm it and stuff like that. I just don't like, being bothered with it. Yeah. I just rather like, I just try to be myself, y'all. And a lot of people don't like you when you're being yourself. A lot of people like you to do things that they want you to do and say things they want you to say. But I'm a different person. I just like being myself. Exactly. It's too much fake stuff surrounding Noah's death. Yes, it is. It is. Yeah, it's too much. It's too much. And I was like, wow, that's just confirmed. I knew that shit was fake. Oh yes, you can read it and tell it was fake. That's why I never bring it up to read it to y'all. I let people go wherever they want to go. I don't stop nobody from going in nobody's chat. Everybody go where they want to go. Everybody get their opinion on how they feel and how they view things and what they feel is fake and what they feel is not fake. I just don't like that stuff. Hello everyone, Justice Finolis. Hey, my auntie. We love you, gorgeous Queen Royalty. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love all of y'all that comes in here and love me. You know. Hey Scorpio, and like I said, I do things for my heart. I do. And like sometimes I hit Miss Smith up and ask her, "What do you think about this? What do you think about that?" I hit Open Book up. What do you think about this? What do you think about that? I just don't like coming out here and bringing stuff that I feel that's not real. I like to get opinions, and there's nothing wrong with getting opinions about anything that you cover. I don't like to be told don't always feel like I want to be the first one that's brings something out because I like to make sure it is true. And that's why I try to follow certain content creators that I know that's going to bring factual stuff. So if I play their stuff, I know it's factual stuff. And if I say something to y'all, I'll be like, I don't know if it's true, y'all. This is what I heard. This is what I seen. That's what I do. But those little boats they had look small. They look small to me at the in and no bathroom. Yeah, those boats are small, but those big boats, yeah, those big boats, they cost a lot of money, and they got bathrooms and everything. Like Auntie Barbara said, those very expensive boats. Now, the boat that I know y'all seen it is floating around all through YouTube, right? That Mr. Potato shared, and he said Warren was not Warren. Nolan was not on that boat. Now I'm gonna tell y'all what I feel about it. Y'all can give me y'all opinion, what y'all feel about it. I feel that okay, the picture I feel is real, but what time of day was that? What time of day was that? That picture was taken. Where was y'all on y'all way to when that picture was taken? Because I say that because everybody on that boat looked happy. Nobody looked sad. Where was Nolan? Why didn't y'all call and report Nolan missing right then and there of that picture? Just saying. Okay, what did Auntie say? Tomorrow will be a month since his demise, and I just feel they are going to continue with the cover up as they always do in Mississippi. I believe that. Warren said he left to go to the island from his buddy's house. So how your brother gets to the island? Wait a minute. Warren said he left. Warren said he left to go to the island from his buddy house. So let me ask y'all a question. Do anybody know the boy's name that Nolan left his car at? Who house was that? Now I know where the keys was at, but who was the boy that Nolan left the car at? Can anybody tell me that? Who was that boy? Yo, there's so many names I can't even keep up with them. God damn. I also I also have to get it and Mr. Potato saying those people and that has a black in their family has if they did not apply, the man is but I can believe that. Okay, that's his name. That's the name that he left the boat at. So who did Nolan go to the island with when he left? Who the island Nolan leave with? Because if y'all can remember, that's all Warren kept saying. You know, a lot of my buddies from college came out there. We hung out, we talked, we did this together. I seen Nolan a couple of times. He was smiling, he was having fun. I was asking him, was he all right? Uh, uh no. And see, a lot of people still want to spin a narrative, and they can, but I won't. Well, it's sad that they're saying that Warren and them wasn't Nolan friends. People can say what they want to say. If that's their opinion, that they feel like Warren and them was not Nolan friends, that's their opinion. They can feel the way they want to feel. What is wrong with these people? He said, bro, oh, got you. Okay. So was that okay? Got you. All right. So that makes sense. I only got to ask that question. Making sense. People got to understand everybody that because you hang with somebody every day, that don't mean they your friend. You may be their friend, but that don't mean they your friend. Okay, they can be snakes. You can grow up with somebody and you can be more of their friend than they're your friend. So when I heard people keep saying, why is they saying that? They was friends. Why is they doing this? Why is they doing that? Everybody on YouTube don't have to say Warren and them was friends with Nolan. People can say what they want to say because I'm going to say what I want to say. Do I think they was their friend, Nolan's friend? No. Period. I don't think so. Yes, that's yes, yeah. That's what she said. That was his house. He said my buddy million times, didn't he? But then called Nolan by his name and not his buddy. Hmm. And then people is bashing the mom because the mom saying she don't know uh Katie, right? So let me say this. I think a lot of people they're grown, but they need to like act like they grown and think like they grown. I don't know, I'm just saying. Because that's because your child knows someone. That doesn't make the mother knows them. Let me say that one more time. That's because your child knows someone. That doesn't mean the mother knows them. And it's a difference between know of someone and knowing someone. See, Nolan, a possibility, could have knew her, but the mother could have just known of her because of her son could have been mentioning Katie from time to time, but the mother did not know of her, meaning have her interactions with her, going out with her to dinner, coming to her house, doing family things with them with Nolan. That's what I mean. Okay? Because shit, my kids know people. I know of them, but I don't fucking know them. My kids know them better than I know them. Okay? So make it make sense. Warren said Nolan always wanted to go out with them and they let him. That spoke volumes to me. I heard that. I heard him say that. I did hear him say that. I think they was jealous and envious of Nolan. Yes. My opinion, they were not friends like that damn gift and go to Nolan's name off period. So I don't understand why everybody come at the mother. Oh, she said she don't know him. Okay. She could know of Katie, but that don't mean she fully know Katie. She might didn't even know Katie mother, Katie father, Katie siblings. She might knew of Katie name because Nolan could have mentioned her from time to time. Nolan probably knew more about her. Maybe Nolan went to school with her. Maybe Nolan graduated with her. Excuse me. Maybe when Nolan was out with his friends, maybe they went to parties together, pool parties. They could have did a lot of things together. So yes, Nolan would know her more than the mother. So that's why the mother says she doesn't know Katie, and there's nothing wrong with that. She probably know of her name, but per se knowing her, no, she does not know her. And it could be the same thing about Warren and them. She may know of them but not know them. Never knew their mother, never knew their father, never had interaction with them on family vacations, family gatherings, talking on the phone, texting. That's when you know a person. Okay? So I think sometimes people get things confused. They do. And we heard Warren say out of his own mouth, oh, well, I never went to Nolan's house. You know, um, I met his dad one time at the Waffle House. Hey, wonder why? Shit, all types of races was coming out, and um, Auntie Barbara. I was over there last night. I was over there. I was in the bushes. I was just so tired to type. I really was, but I was over there. I was, yeah, I was over there. She had a good channel last night. Yeah, but I was just so tired. I had laid the phone down, just listen. One put him in the. One put me in the. Girl, girl. Yes, absolutely. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they was trying to come from my auntie last night. Mm-hmm. But that's the way they do you, though. That's the way they do you. It's sad. So, y'all, let's watch y'all. I don't like them. And I feel like they always want somebody to believe them. You got to believe them. If you don't believe them, I don't even know about them motherfuckers. Hold on, y'all.
Before Johnny, there were others in LA who said the same thing. I mean, it is something
Let
that
me see, can I
permeates
turn this
our
up?
American
Let me know if
system.
y'all
I
can
mean,
hear it.
for hundreds
Yeah,
of
it's really
years.
sad.
It is,
I
but
was
look,
saying he
it's
that
one thing to
day.
say,
Oh, he
I don't
did?
think Nolan Wells and his family are going to get a fair shake because that hasn't been the way investigations go in Mississippi, where you make a broad comment like that. But when you start lasering in on individuals before knowing whether they were involved or
Let me
not,
know if y'all can
and
hear
you
it.
raise it publicly, because look, the stepmother of one of these kids has been getting, she's a judge, she's getting death threats. They've arrested a guy for that. Um, Frankly, everybody's getting death threats in this case, on both sides. So,
Which, by the way, points out exactly what I'm saying. It's a polarizing issue. It's exactly, look at the guy, the death threats person who was arrested was more than just a death threat or an idle threat. I mean, it was awful in terms of what they were saying.
yeah, but
It goes
again,
Thank you,
both
Auntie
ways.
Barbara.
who's stoking the coals on that?
Well, I don't know that. I know that it's easy to say somebody is stoking the coals, and Ben is polarizing, and I've known
And
him
I
for.
listen, I like Ben, but
So
I'm
do
saying,
I like Ben a lot. I think
I
he's
do too.
effective.
But I got to say, in this case, it felt, and look, they have a right to answers for sure, and they have a right to question things. But when you start bringing up race, and and then pointing at individuals, I mean, look, they brought up race, but this was the, the school he had gone to, the high school. When we talked to his coach, and he said, look, he had great friends and they were white, and it wasn't a big deal to any of them that there was a black kid and white kids and whatever. They were just they were pals.
I saw interviews with some of the friends, and they said the same thing.
I know, but look, I'm not saying that race was not involved here. It may have been, or it may have been just a tragic accident. But
Well, I don't know that I would go so far as to say I haven't seen anything so far that leads me to believe that there's race has driven anything other
but
than
you would agree. Well, you would agree
discussion.
the issue's been raised.
Oh, let him
Yeah,
talk.
I was going to
You
say,
just don't let
other
him
than the
talk. Be
fact
quiet.
that the discussion is framed in terms of race,
And that's that's the problem. It's like listen, it may be that this is a racial death, but if if there's evidence of it, then you pursue it. But out of the gate, when you raise it, and when you raise it in the context of specific kids, it's going to damage their lives, right?
I'd love to see the interview and be able to point to the interview and critique it in real time instead of talking in more generalities. Because what Ben Crump is extremely effective in doing is bringing attention to a case.
Right.
I mean, that is what he is very skilled at.
Yes.
And he does that and has repeatedly done that with great effect. And so how can you fault somebody if you're a parent of somebody who's lost a son or a child or a loved one? You want somebody who's going to bring attention to it so that you can try to get some transparency or get some answers. So
Okay,
I
but
don't.
here's one of the problems. So now we have a video of these kids that he went with back from Horn Island in the mid-afternoon of July.
See, y'all, this is the boat I was telling y'all about. Okay. What time of day was this? What time of day was this? Did they say what time of day was this? It don't look like the boat was sinking to me here. Look like they were still having a good time here. Like, what's going on?
July 4th. And Nolan is not on that boat.
Is this the one that you enhanced the audio?
Yeah, but the thing about the audio is Nolan's not on the boat. And
Right.
so if Nolan's not on the boat, the audio doesn't really make sense the way.
Well, except there is you could think, if you listen.
How far is the water coming up, sir?
It's coming up. It's. I don't know. Like we're going down.
That because we have
No, you don't know nothing because
the
you wasn't there.
dispatcher and the guy on the boat talking to each other. So yes, the boat was taking on water, and you do.
We're gonna rebunk his lie, y'all, after this video right here, because we're gonna bring the lady up where she feels that the boat was not sinking, y'all. Mm-hmm.
Hear people talking, and it's garbled, but Nolan was not on that boat. And there are people. There are.
Well, it's audio.
Let me just make the point.
Audio, so we don't know that for
there
sure.
are two people who say that who have told authorities that Nolan was on the island at 6
Correct.
p.m.
Correct.
So
But Harvey, I don't, when you make the jump from the audio to we've got two people, I get it, but I just don't make that jump yet. All I'm saying is that, is the audio consistent with the boat taking on water? Yes. Was Nolan on the boat? I don't know.
Well, there's we have the video of the boat. He's not on the boat.
Look, see, he wanted the
if
guy
the
to say
video shows
that
it,
Nolan
then you've got
was,
something.
Well, but that's what I'm
not
saying.
on the boat. He wanted the guy to
some of
agree with
these
him.
kids who are now, suspected on social media. And look, let's be social media for young people is judge and jury. And it can affect everything in their lives, from getting admitted to a school, to getting a job, to getting threats.
No. Stop lying.
To having friends, to being scorned. And that happens on social media in the best of circumstances. When there's an intimation that somebody may have been involved in something this heinous, it is hard to unscramble that egg.
I agree, and it's one of the problems, I think, with the current state of the law when it comes to defamation and republishing and things of that nature. It's one of the reasons that I think it's a completely different discussion, but I think anti-SLAPP has been stretched beyond the point of recognition and from what it was originally intended to be, but that's a whole different discussion.
That's a different discussion.
Yeah.
So there is something called confirmation bias. And I just think that is so at play in so many cases, including this case, that people who walk into something with a point of view will find anything to support that point of view and not necessarily look at the evidence objectively. Law enforcement can do that, and certainly people in the public who don't have the information do that, which is one of the reasons when you listen to that garbled audio, you can hear what you want to hear. And, when you walk in with a premise, it's easy to hear what you want to hear to support the premise, right?
And let me illustrate and tie up two things you said. You said Johnny Cochran before. Johnny, after OJ, used to rent himself out to sit at the council table so that jurors who plaintiffs' lawyers did not want would raise their hand sitting at that table. And you would eliminate those jurors without having to exercise a peremptory challenge. So now, in this post-Johnny world, Ben Crump, to some degree, triggers people the same sort of way. You'll hear terms like race hustler. You'll hear terms like racist, or he plays the race card, or things like that. When you would not normally, I think, necessarily, if it was somebody else besides Ben, who is polarizing, but effective. And so I understand that, but that's a first cousin of the confirmation bias. It's the prism through which you look or come to a situation. If you see Ben Crump, if you see Al Sharpton, that triggers in certain segments of society a certain preconceived notions. And you talk about it as confirmation bias. I talk about it or look at it as the prism through which somebody judges a situation.
What if you could clean your retainer at the touch of a button?
Hold on,
No
y'all.
more brushing or tablets.
I think they
Over
are
4
mad
years ago,
because
our
Ben
team
Crump
of
took
engineers
this
knew
case
there had to
because
be a
they wanted to
quicker,
railroad
easier,
that
and more
family.
effective way.
That's my opinion.
I mean, to my point, look at what the governor said. The governor was slamming and thanking and slamming Ben Crump, saying it's not the first time he's lied and it won't be the last, or something to that effect. So it's obvious that Ben comes with certain baggage and certain demographics.
I'll tell you the thing that kind of got me with Ben on this thing. So they did the official autopsy is now completed and it's sealed, and they are going to have a grand jury. I want to get into that in a minute, but there was an independent autopsy that the family did, and what Ben said was that the result of the autopsy was they concluded undetermined, that they don't know what caused his death. But then he went on to say, but they have not ruled out foul play. But yes, that's true. But that doesn't mean, it leads you. He mentioned this discoloration in the skull, which could
Right.
be an injury
It could be an injury. It could be Matt Murphy
pooling of blood on a slab, blood in a slab. And
Right.
so it could be either. So it's like when you keep this kind of, theory alive that he was murdered, that it's racial and all this other stuff. I mean, look, he could have been murdered and it may not have been racial. I mean, that's certainly possible. He could have been,
and he could have not been murdered, and it could have been an accident. Fallen and hit his head.
And I think you could.
But if he fell and hit his head, what happened to make him hit his head? What happened to make him fall and hit his head and pass away like that? If that happened, if that's what you're saying, okay, it still had to be a reason, regardless.
You can say fairly at this point that it's not leaning one way or the other in terms of what the public knows. In terms of what the public knows.
I would agree with you, and I think that's a wonderful way to encapsulate it. Right now, when you say it's indeterminate or it's pending other investigation or whatever the caveats are, yes, I agree with you. I wouldn't call this certainly wouldn't call it a homicide yet, or a homicide in the strict legal definition, but when it's indeterminate by definition, you do more investigation.
Okay, and that gets me to the grand jury issue. So the DA has said that when the investigation is complete, they are going to take this to the grand jury. So when you hear those words, it would seem that it would be a grand jury that would look to see whether they would indict somebody. That really confused me because this.
I don't think, it's interesting you say that, because my first reaction was not that. My first reaction is, do they still have basically a coroner's inquest or a coroner's style grand jury? That used to be the case in probably, decades.
No, but that's what I was thinking too, that it's an investigative grand. I was thinking that of all things, this would be an investigative grand jury because there are people who are not talking to the sheriff, people who are not cooperating, and you get them before a grand jury where you put them under oath and either they take the fifth or they testify, you could do more in terms of investigating than you probably could, with the sheriff's department. And so I was surprised the way they put it, that, when the investigation is complete, this is at least what we're hearing, that they're saying, then we'll take it to the grand jury. I would think they would do it before, as part of the investigation. They use the grand jury and maybe then use the same grand jury to determine if there are any criminal charges that are going to be filed.
Which is why I suspect part of the problem is when the DA comes out and announces it, then people's mindset is immediately, well, if the DA's there, then he's trying to determine whether there's criminal agency or criminal responsibility. Whereas if it's the coroner who's doing the investigation, then they're trying to figure out whether or not how to classify this.
Well,
so
but I mean, in the David case, it wasn't the coroner; it was Beth Silverman, the DA, who had 3 grand juries where they called various people to piece together the story. So it wasn't the coroner's grand jury, it was the DA's grand jury, and it was an investigative grand jury that helped them put the pieces together that led to the charges that were filed.
Correct. And in California, that grand jury did not indict. I don't even know that they were asked to indict, which is why we just finished the probable cause preliminary hearing in front of Judge Almeida.
Right.
But I'm not so sure that, you and I have been around long enough to remember, you notice I didn't say old enough.
I know.
And around long enough to remember Thomas Noguchi and using coroner's inquests and those kinds of investigative tools here in California and specifically LA County. And I'm not so sure that that isn't exactly what's happening in Mississippi.
You may be right. We usually don't change subjects, but there's something that I'm just fascinated by that I want to talk to you about. And it's different, but I really want to do this. Tony Romo. I was shocked today. Tony Romo got a DUI. He is the lead commentator for the NFL on CBS. He has a
star quarterback.
He has a
We don't want to hear about him.
Gigantic contract. It's like
is not a moral turpitude offense in almost all jurisdictions,
right?
Or all definitions. So if it's not moral turpitude offense, and as far as I can tell, there aren't any aggravating factors. I think about Charles Barkley, and Charles has had some challenges, and I don't remember him getting benched. I could be wrong.
Well, that. Then I got to tell you,
if they do that, his first call is going to be to Brian Friedman. And
I don't want to hear about no Brian one. Let me bring y'all up. Hold on here. Let's get to this, because this lady was talking facts this morning. All right, let me find his channel. Did I just pass his channel? Here we go, right here. I want to play the music.
Everyone, thank you for joining the show. This is a late afternoon, late morning show, but I just want to cover 2 topics this morning because I had to be on another show. But I'm going to be joined in with my co-host, the incomparable Crystal Jordan. We're going to get, because I got to be on her show, and I committed to be on her show. But I got to spread that love because she's always over here. So with that said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to bring Crystal up. We're going to talk about these topics, and we're going to get into some things. Crystal, are you there?
I'm here. Good morning, Dennis.
Good morning. Let me take this thumbnail down. I want people to be able to see. I want to be able to see. You ain't gonna just be talking over in the background. Okay, here we go. All right. Okay, there you go. Okay, now. Okay, there you go. All right, that light looks great. Now I gotta fix my light.
Good morning, Dennis.
Good morning, Crystal. So, before we get into the main topic, I do have an update in the case involving radio personality Big Tigger. and it was a emergency motion filed. I want to say Friday, but we were able to look at the docket, and this is stemming from the.
Let's go straight into
First of all, this is a unique case because it started with one thing, and then it ended up with something totally different. It started with her, where a child custody battle. She knew the whereabouts. It was not on air here in Atlanta. He was on B103s, the radio. The young lady is safe, and I'm interested to see what is going to happen in that case. But temporary full custody of
his son as well. So when the school went to notify her that they had to get this because you guys decided you want to go to the court. So now,
but I would assume that there would need to be some criminal investigation if Alicia did abscond, have been taken by.
The case she's talking about, I know about that.
Or battle between.
There's 3 victims in this: the father, the child.
The I think he was a little bit over 1.
On her side for that.
We would hope so.
So let's that was listened to by the professional expert engineers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you and I hadn't talked about the audio. After you listen to it, can you tell me what, if anything, you heard in that audio? Was it clear to you? What parts were clear to you, and what parts were not clear to you?
Well, obviously, there are some teenagers that, just from what I heard, just from what I'm listening to, in my opinion, teenagers attempting to cover something up, and I don't know if that's the fact that they are.
I love you,
drinking.
sis.
The operator is asking, are there adults trying to get the information on where they are actually located and what's happening on the boat? One of the biggest issues for me was when she asked how many adults.
How's you doing? And how was your weekend?
There was a lot of disconnection. So at some point she would be asking questions, and the young man that was that was the point of contact on the phone with her would just go silent. To me, that says that there's additional conversations happening, and perhaps they're not comfortable. She asked that question numerous times. Initially, he said there were no children. He did not give a number. And then he went back and said that there were 7 people. And then finally, he acknowledged that no one in the, out of the 7 were over the age of 21. But there was a lot of quiet, just disconnect, muffled sounds, and basically not wanting to answer direct questions that were being asked for the safety of the people on the boat.
So that's Vicky, the dispatcher. Now, did you hear actual names? Did you hear Nolan's name in that recording, or did you hear Bart's name in that recording?
I could not make out either of those names, but you do hear a lot of muffled conversation happening in the background, almost like the dispatcher to hear what they're saying.
See, y'all hear that?
I could not hear an actual name.
You know what I listened to it again. You know what kind of stood out for me?
I told y'all from day one, they was muting that phone. And when I said that one day in somebody chat on Facebook, they tried to come for me. I know what I heard. They was muting that phone. They did not want that dispatcher to hear what was going on in that background. I'm glad she was thinking like me, because I felt the same way.
I don't know why. They're going to have to answer that question. When Vicky asked the person on the other end of the line, do you want me to call the Coast Guard? Mm-hmm. He said quickly no. Why would you want the Coast Guard to come out?
Well, and I also, you're right, quickly said no to that. But I think, like I said, you would assume it's clear that there are teenagers attempting to not get caught for something that they're doing. Initially, so the boat is sinking. She asked for more detail on that and could not really get the detail on that. One of the things that stood out to me also was, there's a membership number. It's not a problem. And then he was able to share the membership number, but it's just clear that it is a young person asking for help, but not really cooperating to get the help. Because if you are panicking, if you're in a situation where you're panicking, you want them to get there and you want to give them all the help possible. There are numerous times throughout the 9-minute call where the dispatcher is like, hello, hello, to the point where she even gets frustrated and says, you're not answering the questions. So that to me says to anyone, I'm not, anyone that would listen to that would assume that the person on the other end is asking for help, but not necessarily being compliant with the dispatcher that's attempting to get the information to help them.
Right.
So what I heard, and I don't know if you heard this, did the caller burp in there? If you listen carefully, it sounded like he burped, and then you can tell that there was some kind of phone connection issues.
Mm-hmm.
So some say it sounded like they were muting, they're not muting, because there wasn't a complete silence, and then it sounded like there was static, because when he had to repeat, when she asked how many children and how many adults, I don't know if he actually heard that because of the phone connection, because when he responded, he said there's no children on board, and then he says under the age of 21. What is the relevance of that?
See, I saw that a different way. I just read that a different way, and everyone's going to interpret things differently. How I interpreted that was they were probably doing something that people under the age of 21 don't have any business doing, drinking, whatever was happening, because he initially said that there were no children, and then it felt there was a disconnect, which it sounded like a mute. And she asked the question again, because she was like, if there's no children, how many adults? Initially, she asked how many adults and how many children. He did not answer. She asked again, and then he said there are no children. And then she said, how many people? At this point, you hear the operator getting frustrated.
I mean, living people, how many people?
How many people? And then he says 7. But he doesn't want to acknowledge that they are under the age of 21 until finally that comes out. But it does sound like the phone is, I don't know if he was drinking, or if there's some reason that there's a disconnect in his conversation, because there are several other things that she's asking for the depth of the water, and he's not giving her clear answers. I'm not sure if that is because of him being inebriated, or of them. There's another reason that a lot of the questions, there's a lot of what sounds like blank sounds, like the phone was muted. There are a lot of noises and people talking in the background, and you can tell that the young man that is talking is also talking to other people in the background as well.
Mm-hmm.
But there also doesn't seem to be a sense of urgency. And asking for help. And that's why there's not a sense of urgency on behalf of the young man that's speaking, which made me, the dispatcher is getting frustrated. And I'm listening, as an outsider, and you're thinking, if these children really are on a boat that is sinking, where's the urgency? And why wouldn't someone else take the phone and answer? To me, that says that there's young people that are trying to figure out what their story is, because his
bam, 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 bam. I agree with her 100%. Was nothing wrong with that boat, y'all. I said it in the beginning. I don't believe that boat was sinking. They were trying to come up with their story. They was all frustrated. And whoever made the phone call, they was very frustrated. They was putting the phone on mute. They was being very rude to the lady. They wasn't cooperating with the lady. I said all of this in the beginning, and I'm so glad to hear this young lady here speak on it.
His conversation changes, and there's huge disconnects and gaps in it throughout the exchange.
Okay, so here's the other thing. There were at least 2 boats that I know, listening to some of the interview that Warren gave on the Brandon Tatum's show, there was at least 2 boats there. Mm-hmm. Now, no one really honed in on whether or not another boat was involved at some point. And the other part to that is, what was the reluctance in not wanting the Coast Guard to come out? Like that, the Coast Guard would obviously provide, whatever, safety needs you need. So that was a little troubling because you need help. And then if you listen to the end of the call, once the operator got off with the caller saying that he had made contact with the owner of the boat, the father.
Mm-hmm.
Now, were there two calls made? Were there simultaneous calls being made while he was talking to Cito and was someone else talking to someone else? Because it sounded like someone said, "Shut up." And if you listen to it, or it sounds like you hear words like "shut up." Again,
Exactly, April. Exactly. Why they wouldn't want the Coast Guard to come out? That was a red flag because they didn't want them to see a possibility that Nolan was really on one of those boats, because I believe it was more than one boat. I do believe that. Because if you sinking and you desperate needing help, like this lady right here just said, why wouldn't you want the Coast Guard out to help you? Yeah, that was a big red flag.
this is for others to interpret. There were two clips that you received. One with the music removed, and that is the first 30-something seconds of the caller. That's where people have been honing in on that part of the call. So the engineers were able to remove the music. So even if you use stereo headphones like I have on right now, a lot of that stuff was inaudible. It really was. So
it sounds. This is just from what I heard, because I listened to that one first. It sounds like someone's talking and then they're doing like this, and they're talking out. Because we all know what that sounds like. If you're talking, if you pull up at a drive-through and you don't want the person on the other end to hear what you're doing, it sounded like there was times when the voice was clear, and then there are times when there's a lot of muffled sound, and it's definitely difficult to make out what is being said. I also took it as though the operator, the dispatcher, when she put the captain on, because she did have the name, because he didn't necessarily have the number initially, the membership number, he had the name. I felt like she was able to, obviously she had to pull that information up and make that call. Because the dispatcher is clearly annoyed with the caller because she's having to ask questions over and over again. And there are certain times she's like, hello, he's not responsive. So that there could be numerous reasons, for that. But it's definitely clear that there are additional conversations going on besides the one that the young man is having with the dispatcher.
right, okay, and we both can agree on that. Now, what people have to also understand, while I retain the services of a professional two professional audio engineers, the work of the studio. They're one of the most, high-ranking studios, I would say, in the country. Now, Attorney Ben Crump is also going to retain his own experts to listen to the same audio. And one thing I know for sure is that the law enforcement has access to the high-tech equipment to listen to. I don't think there's more high-tech than where I went at, but
right. But they do have reputable, credible people that can listen to it as well.
Right. So that is just one part of this puzzle. Now, I said that who might have tainted this case, and I'm going to tell you who I believe tainted this case, and I have a problem with this, and I'm going to say the governor of Mississippi, Tate Reeves, and I'll tell you why. Why is the governor of Mississippi trying to slander the family attorney, trying to get to the truth of what happened to Nolan Wells? It's the danger in that. The governor can remove a district attorney. The governor controls the state police, that who could also be a part of the investigation. Concerning, because now he signaled to all those, even the medical examiner, like his position, how he feels about Attorney Ben Crump and the things that he said. And I think that's very troubling. And I think he tainted this. This is why I'm sure the family's concerned that a governor has stepped in to disparage the attorney trying to seek the truth.
Yes,
and make no
absolutely.
mistake, Ben Crump bring attention to his stories. And you know, I met him during the Trayvon Martin, George Zimmerman trial. So when the governor of the state is sending these type of messages, he's the one tainting this, and he brought politics in it and race. He brought politics and race into the conversation. Because where do you come off jumping into this conversation when you have people that have been designated to conduct the investigation and not interfere with the movement and different moving parts? So who I think is going to get the report first? I think the governor's going to get the report first.
Concerning when I looked at that, the fact that the governor inserted himself in a situation that is not necessary, where you don't usually see governor inserting himself. It says to me that he is unhappy with the fact that this case is being handled.
He inserted himself because he did not, and not only him, a lot of people, authorities in Mississippi did not want Bill Crump to, work with this family. They was upset behind that. Yeah. So he ain't the only one, that inserted himself. Plenty more of them did. They wanted this family to do what they wanted to do on their own so they can railroad this family, lie to this family, make sure this family probably don't never get justice for their son, okay? Like they do the other people, okay? That's what they wanted. And when they seen that was not going to happen, they didn't like it. They didn't like that at all.
Crump, which is going to bring not only attention to the situation, but attention to the inner workings of how things are handled with the court system.
Yes, they was, April.
And
very upset.
That's another point.
That's when they started faming that man.
Taints the situation because there's obviously an agenda on the side of the state, which the governor represents the state, to dissuade the public, to dismiss that's dismissive in the public's opinion towards the family and their attorney, which is problematic because when you talk about taken and actually, if this actually does come to court, or even finding things for the grand jury to actually say that there should be a court case on this, with the governor tainting it and putting that energy out, I don't know that they would get a fair trial or even a fair case brought to the court in Mississippi. It would have to be taken to a higher level, to a federal court, and that is problematic because we know how things are working politically in our country at this time.
So I think that people have to realize that even this audio or the audios that are floating out there, it can be viewed as a distraction, because ultimately we know that none of the investigators are going to use the audios that they're online. They're not going to use my audio examination. They're not going to use the other experts' audio examinations, and they're not going to use Attorney Ben Crump's audio examinations to come to a conclusion. So with that in mind, I think we have to still stay focused on what happened to Nolan Wells and what is the likelihood this can lead to a cover-up. What is the likelihood that this could be a cover-up, even if it was an accidental drowning? The circumstances surrounding this still can open people up for civil liability. The drinking, people might have destroyed evidence in the investigation, but it does seem like the only person has been protected right now in this case is the judge, who was allegedly threatened by someone out of state. But here's the other problem I have: the Wells have been threatened as well. If they have the tools to find out who threatened the judge, they have the same tools to find out who threatened not just the Wells, but the engineer and whoever else was threatened. So this also gives distrust from the public, and they're looking at this case, and I don't think anyone's going to be satisfied with the results of what the grand jury will ultimately come back with, or what the presentation, the lawyers.
He right, y'all. That's why I kept saying everybody better brace themselves, because it might not be what we want to hear. I'm telling you, because we know where it's coming from, Mississippi. It might, even the mom, maybe, well, I ain't gonna say maybe, she's gonna be very depressed and hurt, So that's why I told everybody, like, just brace yourself, because we know what we're dealing with here. We absolutely know. So we don't know what they're gonna say, but it may not be good, just like Dennis is saying, and I definitely agree with him.
To represent the family won't be a part of that grand jury.
No.
We don't know what's going to be presented. So I'm a little apprehensive on whether or not this case will be handled fairly, just because of what the governor poisoned the case.
Yes, absolutely.
And I'm sorry, guys, that those don't believe, the governor should have shut up in the situation. I don't know. Mike must have went out. The governor should have shut up in the situation. He should just mind his business and not disparage Ben Crump or Reverend Al. Your thoughts?
I agree with you. I think it's telling, though. I think that when you have a situation like this, and we do know, that the idea of politics and race have been brought up, then we can acknowledge that there is a history, a long-standing history of unfair and very biased judicial proceedings in the state of Mississippi. Unfortunately, that is just part of our history. And I do agree with you that this makes it concerning if this case would be handled fairly in that state, because of the fact that the governor has already intervened and has intervened in with a negative light towards the attorney who is simply trying to represent the family and find out what happened to Nolan Wells. It would be different if the governor's statement was made after there was actually a trial, but this is just in the idea of seeking truth. You're trying to stop or to dissuade a lawyer from coming in and simply seeking truth. There have been no allegations made about a particular person or even sentiment from Attorney Crump's camp at all. So what is the issue with us seeking the truth of what happened to this young man so that his parents can have peace? That is concerning. When the governor to speak out against the fact that they just want to know what happened to their son, that should make all of us, our ears
very concerned
and be concerned about this actually the truth being able to be found in the state of Mississippi.
So what could be next? An independent investigation? Should the family want the FBI to come in? Even with this administration, you have the local field office in Mississippi. I'm sorry, guys. I'm a little reluctant as to whether or not this family will get a fair investigation, just because the governor tainted it. He can remove the people that are investigating. He can.
Do y'all agree with him? Because I definitely agree with Dennis. Yes, I agree with him. That's why I kept saying, as I kept covering this case, I kept saying shady stuff, and I was like, y'all just brace yourself. We know we all want justice for Nolan. We know that. We all want that, but it may not pan out the way we want it. And this is what Dennis is trying to say. And I agree with him, because I've been saying this now for like 2 weeks.
And literally signal to the people that are conducting the investigation, that pendulum better swing in the favor of
dismissal, which is great. Like I said, this is not even about a case. This is simply, do we have enough here for a case? And for him to make that statement so early in this process is very, very concerning. And it is discouraging. I agree, Dennis, it's discouraging because
the governor did the same thing that the sheriff guy did when he came out and said, this may be an accident and drowning. Both of them came out the same way, and both of them was absolutely wrong. Neither one of them should have spoke like that, because when he came out and said that it may be an accident and drowning, that's when shit went crazy after that. Okay? Because at that point, we already knew that they was trying to cover it up. Right? But when Ben Crump stepped in, things turned around. And this is why they keep making false accusations about Ben Crump and Ben Crump racist and he this and he that, because they don't like that the mother hired Ben Crump. Because the mother knew in her heart that she was not going to get a foul junction when it came to her son. She knew that. She felt that. And that's why she did what she did. And I'm not mad at her at all. At all.
It can remove the possibility of us even figuring out if there is something that does need to be brought to trial. But I also believe that, you know, we have a commitment as journalists, and I know that Attorney Ben Crump has a commitment to seeing this through. And we just have to believe, even though there can be discouraging things in the way, we have to believe that truth will prevail.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll echo your sentiment, but you know I'm giving the team that works under the governor the side eye. We'll see, because it's still taking taking longer than one would expect. And I did reach somewhere that Attorney Crump will be asking the district attorney to sit down with the family to review the information from the autopsy, which if they balk at that request, that's even more concerning, because ultimately Nolan Wells is the deceased and the family should hear it before anyone else.
That's right.
I agree, but I feel as though it's Monday morning, and I feel as though even if that does happen, which we know that the likelihood of that is very likely that could happen. I think we have to push forward, you know, in situations like this. One of the things that I appreciate about today's landscape, even though we have a lot of journalists that are I would say that are practicing under, you know, just alternative styles of journalism are happening. And the same thing is the case for a lot of things that are contributed to the legal system. There are a lot of people finding information and bringing things up. And in many cases, we've seen what happens outside the court actually does cause cases to be reviewed, things to be able to be brought back up. And so I just believe that we're living in a time where truth is not able to be swept under the rug as easily as it could be years ago. And we cannot allow the discouragement to stop us. So I would just encourage all the people that are out on social media that are looking into this case, like ourselves, and there's so many more, to keep doing this work, because this is really important. Truth is always important.
Yes, truth is important, and people coming forward is important. And I think the silence is concerning for me. Mm-hmm. The silence of all the people that were out there, that's a little concerning for me.
Yes, again, very concerning.
Let's just hope
that there's too many people out there not know nothing.
Some will come forward. There's a reward out there. And I would also say that there's a pretty sizable reward out there. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if everyone's that wealthy out there, but if you know something, you know, collect your paper and, tell what you know. If you can add anything to the investigation, and let's just see where that plane lands. Yeah. But Kevin said, I posted this comment a second ago. What did Kevin say? Long to conduct the investigation. Right. You know, rushing through it. And again, you know, you have parts that were removed. You know, let's just look at the autopsy. Just give us some kind of idea. The family, first and foremost, if they want to share with us, fine. But the minute they share with the family, that gives that family an opportunity to either change course, and because one thing I know for a fact, Ben Crump and his team is not revealing everything they know.
Nope.
Right.
because you got to hold some cards there, because you don't give people an opportunity to create alibis or alternate reality stories. So I get it. So just because they're not telling you everything, don't mean that people are not providing.
Right. I agree.
Mhm,
I agree.
too.
And then you got to also realize, this case involves young people. And so that ultimately were involved in behavior that may reflect badly on themselves. So you have young people and you have parents that are working to protect their child, right? And so I think that's also why this is that we're doing probably things that they did not want to report about. And I also think that the fact that no one knows what happened. Allegedly, there have been phone, it's just a lot that has been done to make this seem a lot more quiet than it would be, I think, with another case with adults or
I agree with
outside of that. I mean, we have
Mhm.
people under the age of 21. So that is it's concerning, and I think that also could be one of the reasons that people are so. The other side is so quiet because those parents are telling their children anything,
Yeah, I would agree. I agree with you on that. The parents are probably saying, "Don't say much,"
Stay out of it.
because we know at least 3 people have said something, and those 3 people was the friend, or not. Well, they all claim to be friends.
Right.
We're talking about the black friend.
Yeah.
The family don't know. They part on there, and I don't know. He was just doing a lot.
Yeah.
We have Warren, and then we have Bart. Bart's, through communication, through his attorney, and then him saying that the girl in the picture, we have at least 3 people who have chosen. That could be the Coast Guard could be like, why are you guys operating a boat and enumerated? That could be something plausible as well.
Absolutely.
That's right. They shouldn't have been operating no boat drinking.
At that age, someone said, Dennis, breathe that. Okay, right about the microphone. How's my microphone? Sound better?
Yeah, I think it was too. It gets, when you're that close, it gets kind of.
Okay. I'm trying to sound sexy. Okay. No, so
That's what I thought. I thought that, when he hesitated about the children versus adults, first of all, teenagers don't want to be looked at as children. They want to be seen as adults, even though they're not. And his dismissiveness with the dispatcher was just, teenagers can be difficult, because they're not adults. But they're acting as adults. You can tell they were independently there. 7 people were right there. We don't know which boat, but he said there were 7 people there with him, and we've not heard from anyone else. Isn't it? I could be mistaken in this, but wasn't it Warren's father that also put out a reward, $50,000 reward?
It was the father, and I thought that it would make sense if the father put that 50 on that 125 and make it 175.
Yeah, I think it makes sense he did it too, because his son's name is out here on these social media streets a lot. His son's name is coming up. So I believe, in my opinion, he put it out to try to make it look good. So that's why he did that. Yeah, that's just my opinion, right? Now, with the GoFundMe thing, I don't know why I wouldn't allow no one to put a GoFundMe up under my son's name that was with my son, and he did not come back home alive. And y'all can't tell me the truth of what happened to my child, and y'all gonna use my child name and y'all GoFundMe? No, because I would have been writing to them people telling them, take my son name out of this caption. Okay. Now Ben Crump probably can't do that because he's a civil attorney, right? But I feel the mom needs another attorney also with Bill Crump when it comes to things like this, because if she could have had an attorney, the attorney could have helped, handle that problem, taking her son's name out of that GoFundMe, stopping Mr. Potato for going on any platform talking about her son. So I still feel like she do need another attorney on the side of Ben Crump, because Ben Crump is just a civil attorney. So y'all can tell me what y'all feel about it. But there's no way I would sit there and allow somebody to use my deceased son name in a GoFundMe. No way. That wouldn't happen with me.
I mean, if Warren was a friend of Nolan, then why would the family not offer that money to
Work with, right?
the family kitty? I'm like, things is just.
It's some weirdness happening, and even why Warren ended up on Officer Tatum's podcast. There's a lot that is very concerning.
And that's another part that people are looking at. These friends decide to pick that individual to do an interview with.
Exactly.
Is concerning. You could have went on Good Morning America, or you could have went on The View.
Any place. But that's a very.
But see, I told y'all why them kids was not going to go on the news, on a real news station, because they were going to be picked apart. And the question that those news people was going to ask them, they didn't want to answer those questions. Versus with Mr. Potato, he wasn't going to ask the questions that really need to be asked, because he already feel that people trying to paint them out to be a bad boys and this and that, and he's a narcissist. So that's why he did what he did. I can see right through it.
That is a very telling situation, and it introduces race and politics even without anything being said.
Right, because let's just call it what it is. They know Brandon Tatum is.
Yes, that can be reported, because like I just said, it wouldn't be me. I would have been reported that. You're not using my son's name. No way. You're not going to use my son's name, and all y'all was on that boat, and all y'all is covering up. Then you get on platforms and talk about the lady, and then you want to use her son's name? Oh, baby. Couldn't have been Miss D. No way. Because I'd have had my attorney to take that motherfucking GoFundMe down, or either take my son's name out of it, and I would have had it as though Mr. Potato could have never spoke on my child again on nobody platform, not even through a third party. Yeah, that's how I would have had that shit going.
Not the most respected person in the Black community, and I can say that because I can see I can see what the comments are saying, and his position on things that affect people of color is just so lopsided.
Yeah,
so for them to choose him, it was concerning.
It's just telling. It's very telling of where they think, what they assume could potentially be a case that comes down to race and politics. Yeah. But with that said, I've got to jump. Dennis, we will definitely stay up on this. I'm
that
sure
man is a Trump supporter.
This is nowhere near over. We'll be having more conversations as that the toxicology report eventually, and also the autopsy and toxicology. So we'll be right back here.
Before you go, do you think any of those kids were tested for any narcotics and or anything? Do you believe that they were tested? Because someone put out, Tatum put out, that there was cocaine introduced into this situation.
Yes.
So are they just going to say that he was doing cocaine? It's just.
That's the problem. I talked to you about that. I feel like if that was introduced, then all those young people should have been tested. And if that is introduced later from this toxicology report, then there's going to be an issue that we need to, and there's going to be a bias that will need to be addressed.
Right. Because when someone said 150%, they're going to find something in his blood.
Yeah. Well, I would assume that whoever else was on that boat or on that outing with him would need to be tested as well, or that finding is irrelevant. Like, why are we only focused on what's in his system?
Right. So with that, Crystal, I'll see you shortly. And I appreciate you being here. And let's tell people where we're going to be at and at what time. Let people know.
Yes, Dennis is going to be joining the reprint. We're going to be talking more about this case, asking him to share more about his version of what is on that audio tape, and just recapping what happened last week when we talked with attorney Gerald Briggs, who is the president of the Georgia NAACP, and just kind of recapping that. So you can join us on Lennox and Parker, the reprint, at 12:30 on the East Coast, 9:30 on the West Coast. And Dennis Byron will be our special guest.
Hey, that's what's up, Crystal. I'll see you shortly. Now get on out of here. That's how I feel today. That's how I felt over the weekend. And people are not just trusting this process. And again, the governor, Tate Reed, interjecting himself in this case is troubling, especially if the outcome, well, I don't know if the outcome is going to be, the investigation is going to be swayed because of what the governor said. I mean, this is just a bad move. And it's a bad move, but I know the governor thought this out before he went public to attack an attorney who represents the family of Nolan Wells. You guys can.
Well, yeah, it will show up, April. And the first autopsy that was done, the guy didn't say anything about it, the doctor. He didn't say anything about it because I think he said the stomach was removed, the throat was removed. So that was, I think those were the two things that they said was removed. But no, he didn't say anything about it in his report like that. Now, we don't know what the first one going to come back and say because we know who we're dealing with again. So we got to wait and see what that first one going to come back and say. Yeah.
Take whatever position you want, but knowing the history of Mississippi, knowing that this governor that's so closely aligned with 47, it's a sorry, I'm going to.
Okay, y'all, let's get to the other one I had. Let me see. Yeah, we just got to sit and see what the other one going to. I mean, they said it's done, but when they're going to put it out, I have no idea. Let me see, can I find this? I have no idea when they're going to put it out. I can't wait because I'm ready. And I'm also ready for the lady that's going to be interviewed by Nancy. The lady that put her recording out, Nancy's going to interview her. I don't know when though. I don't know when. Let's see, can I find his channel? Seems like I always got problems looking for his channel. I don't know why. Let's see. I don't know why I always can never find his channel. I don't know. I hate when I can't find a channel that I'm looking for. Now, I think Saturday, I think that was Saturday. Okay, y'all, let's listen to her interview because she did an
Ain't no
interview
harm in
Saturday with
wandering.
Willie.
There's
So
a
let's
bounty of
listen to
fresh
what she
produce
has to
delivered
say.
daily for the taking.
Let's see what she got to say. She did an interview Saturday.
Public interest. And one of the most debated pieces of evidence has been a set of audio recordings that independent audio engineer Janetta Brantley enhanced, not to tell people what to believe, but to make it cleaner so that they could judge for themselves. Joining me right now is Janetta. Hey.
Hey, how you doing?
Oh, I'm great. I'm great. I got the number one troublemaker in the country online right now. What? Look, you stirred up a wasp nest. I mean, all you was doing, I guess, was just trying to get to the truth. Just because there's a lot, as I said, there's a lot of interest in this case, and for you to take it upon yourself to go in and say, you know, I can do something about this. I want to use my skills to really listen to what's going on. When you first started cleaning that audio up, was you doing it just for self-satisfaction, or was you saying, you know, I'm gonna clean this up so the public can really like hear what's going on? Or when you cleared it up and you heard it, did you before you cleared it, what I think the people need to hear this?
When I was cleaning it up, what made me clean it up is because when I heard it the first time, when I heard it that morning, I have no idea when it was released, but when I heard it that morning of the 26th on Sunday morning, I heard some things that was already standing out to me, like it was troubling that what I thought I was hearing. So initially, when I was cleaning it up, it was really for me to try and get clarity on some of the things that I thought that I was hearing. But once I started cleaning it and some of those things actually stood out, and I actually started realizing, like, you know, I think this is exactly what I heard. That's what made me want to put it out, to just make sure I'm not tripping. Like, y'all be the judge. This is what I heard, but don't take what I'm saying as facts. Like, I want y'all to listen too and see, like, let's converse about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, let me see what y'all think y'all are hearing. But that's where that came from.
Now, before we go any further, this is one of the questions that your detractors want to know. What qualifies you to clean up this audio and for us to trust that you know exactly what you're doing? How can we trust you with this audio enhancement?
It's what I do for a living. It's literally my profession. I have a bachelor's in music production and a master's in entertainment business. But with that bachelor's in music production from Full Sail, they also taught, you know, audio engineering and things like that. And so today and for the past decade, I've been doing that for a living in post and TV, where I clean up dialogue, I enhance and edit dialogue for a living. I do sound design. I do things that comes within post-production work. Is literally what I do for a living, and have been doing that for the past 10 years.
And what did you do to enhance the recording? Did you add anything?
I did not.
Simply remove the background noise?
The only thing I added was gain, and gain is to just basically enhance the volume. That's really it. Like, I EQ'd, subtractive EQ, which is I subtracted some of the frequencies that I didn't need that was making it more difficult to hear. And I boosted some areas of the EQ, but adding anything or altering or doctoring anything, as they've been saying, is just completely false. Like, I literally used VSTs or plugins that any engineer has access to, and not even just music and sound people that work in film, editors have access to the same thing. EQ, gain, compression are like the main three plugins that are typically used. And those are the main three that I used, staying completely away from AI.
Right. Now, I'm not trying to put anybody on blast, but it just appears to me that Look and listen. This is a shoe fit wear scenario now. If the shoe don't fit, you shouldn't get offended. But it just seems like to me that a lot of the hate, it ain't even just associated with the fact that you did something that could possibly point fingers at certain people. It appears to me that a lot of the hate comes from the fact that some people think that things are not authentic unless white people approve them or white people do it. I believe that if you were a white woman who presented this enhanced audio, I think that it would be more accepted by mainstream, and I think they'd be all over you. But because you are a Black woman, they're trying to discredit you because they can't stand that Black excellence. Yeah, they can't stand it, man. It kills them that you beat them to the punch. That's what I saw. You beat them to the punch, and you reminded them of how brilliant Black people are. That's right, I said it. You reminded them of how brilliant Black people are. And that underscores the fact that a lot of them fear us because they fear what we would become if we had the resources. You had the resources to go in there and enhance that audio, and look what happened. This is what I want to know. I see Nancy Grace interviewing everybody. I mean, she interviewing everybody she can get her hands on. I think I saw her interviewing a dog watcher, but just anybody. She's just grabbing them, snatching them everywhere. And I'm hearing people talk, Auntie Nancy. I'm getting some feedback on maybe on your end, I think. Did you hear that? Did you hear any noise? Oh, so I'm hearing some noise on my end. Let's see if I can clean that up and stuff. I don't know see if I can get on my audio engineer cleaning. Okay, but it's still happening. I need to ask the comment section, are they hearing feedback? Are y'all hearing me fine? Are y'all hearing us fine? Because I'm getting static. Give me a thumbs up if y'all can hear us fine. You hear it? You good? You good? I hear it too. Oh, somebody hear it? I hear it. Okay, they're hearing feedback. We can't go through it like this. Are you sure it's nothing on your end?
I don't hear it.
Okay, mute your end. Okay, it's on your end.
I'm about to grab some headphones.
Yeah, it was on your end. Thank y'all for helping us out right there, chat. Appreciate y'all. We're going to get to the bottom of this. Look at the devil, boy. The devil trying to get us. The devil is in the chat, y'all. The devil is in the chat. Think they slick.
It's a shame how
We
people
gonna get this information out there.
Cleaning up a video. I mean, a recording. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Let me see. 1 second. If we can send the audio to something else that does it, like your phone. 1 second.
We're getting there, fam. We're getting there.
Bluetooth.
Bear with us. You getting some headphones? Okay. Other than that, I heard you, you celebrated the birthday yesterday, another milestone. For a trip around the sun.
And I enjoyed myself too. I'll take the big ones.
Big ones, okay, big ones.
Can you see the chat?
Can I see the chat?
You sure?
Okay, we good.
Yeah, I'm an engineer. This is what I wear anyways.
Okay, we good. Okay, now we good.
They
Okay,
match.
all right.
Got it.
So how do you respond to the people out there who are saying that the actual audio is fake and it's been manipulated?
Honestly, I'm trying not to respond as much, other than when I actually showed, when I put that video out of me actually showing from top to bottom how I went to YouTube, downloaded the source from there, pulled it into Logic, and just did some quick little things, quick little processing to show that I didn't do anything fraudulent. I didn't add anything extra. I didn't commit alchemy or do some type of magic. I did what anybody can do. And so at this point, it's like their own biases, and they're just doing what they do best. People are peopling.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie. Being an artist, I'm not as skilled as you are with audio engineering and cleaning up stuff like that. But I got enough skills to, if I had thought about that, I would have went in and tried to do it. I would have went in. I was like, bullshit. Well, that was brilliant of you to actually, like, with all of the thousands of people who are engineers out there. Like, it's like nobody either bothered, or they said, or they said that, or they didn't, think about it. But you had the presence of mind to not think about it, just think about it, but also act on it. And when you did, or you talk about stirring the pot. Now, I asked you about Nancy Grace. That's where we got, we started, the sound started breaking up. But going back to Nancy Grace has interviewed everybody she can think of. And what I want to know is, have you received any communication from her? Has anybody from her team reached out?
Yes.
Okay, fine.
I will be talking to them. Yes.
Okay, well, that's good. Well, okay, I won't belabor that.
Yeah,
and
she will be on Nancy Grace, y'all. I don't know.
Yes, because I'm like, because I'm like, anybody reporting on this, anybody who's serious about getting some answers, if they're not reaching out to you, they ain't serious. I can't take them seriously. And that's including the investigators. Has any investigators reached out? Anybody from the Ocean Springs Police Department?
No.
Anybody from the FBI?
No.
See, I can't take them seriously.
Yeah, she was the one.
If they're not reaching out to
released that audio. Hey, Miss Walker.
I cannot take them seriously.
In part, I feel like there's really no need to reach out to me, because what I have access to is they have access to. And not only that, they have way better equipment than I do. The FBI, they actually have audio analysts that can do what they're supposed to do.
Right.
And so there's really no need to reach out, say that I did and what I have, they can do themselves. And so that could be part of the reason why I haven't been reached out to them. I haven't been reached out.
That's a good point. That's a very good point. I like your spirit.
Thank you.
I like your spirit. I like your spirit. You're an extremely
that's why I don't understand. Why is everybody attacking her? I mean, she only put out what was there. That was it. She didn't do nothing. She didn't go through AI, none of that.
Thank you.
Okay, so when we look at how this audio has affected people's temperaments, some people have came for you, they come for your family, they're trying to put you on blast, they're trying to dox you. How has this affected your family and your life?
It's a bit overwhelming, but it doesn't stop the fight. Like we all know, a hit dog will holler, and it to me
That's
it seems
facts.
like something was thrown and multiple dogs was hit at this point. And at this point, I can't do nothing about how they react. Like I said, the audio was already released, and so if anybody should be mad, they should be mad at the CETO company and MDMR who put it out there.
And that's
Everybody
what I said
had
earlier.
heard
Y'all.
it
They should be
even
mad at
before I
them.
cleaned it.
Why they didn't go and talk to them about, ask them why did they put it out? How did they feel about it? What did they hear? Interview the people that put it out. They was the first one put it out. And when they put it out, what happened? It created a big problem. That's what happened. But people should have been trying to reach out to them, interview them. Why they coming after this girl? I think that was crazy.
Me, you cleaned it, and some of the things that they didn't hear at first maybe be like 2 or 3 things that I brought more to the forefront, but the super majority all agreed that they were hearing these things even in the original audio. So that being that, and then on top of that, I think from a psychological standpoint, like behavioral psychology, it's if you're going to attack someone over seeking justice, that says to your character. Because I didn't do nothing wrong, although something wrong has been done. And the reason why myself and others are acting out on it is because we're seeking justice. We want you out. And so I kind of let them do what they do. I kind of let the hate pile up because ultimately I'm working on my end to make sure that I'm moving in accordance to who I am and standing true to what I know to be true to self. And I don't want to say too much, but at the end of the day, just me and my wife, we are taking it easy while also responding to the misinformation and correcting what we can correct in the meantime, while still trying to figure out what happened to Nolan.
Right. You said that there was 2 or 3 things that you hadn't heard prior to cleaning it up. What were those 2 or 3 things that you hadn't heard?
The can we cover it up? I didn't hear that as clear as I did at first.
Wow.
Damn it, Bart. Nolan's really dead now. And everybody that's on this boat is, I think he said everybody that's on this boat is fucked, if I'm being honest. But that, and it took for my wife to help me really bring that out. Like, you know, he's saying something and he's saying it with his chest. Because at this point, either that's a intimidation tactic or it's a way of letting everybody on the boat know that we're all in this. So everybody is aware of something. And that's without me, you know, placing blame or guilt on a single person. That's just me being aware that they are aware of something happening.
And when you're hearing this, what's going through your mind? When you first hear this, like what's going through your mind?
It was, I had a bit of mixed emotions and reactions in that moment, honestly. And that's what took me so long. It wasn't the process of cleaning it and enhancing it, because that's actually pretty quick. Like I do that every day, but it was what I was hearing. A lot of people think that I did it to point the fingers or to blame the friends, which that was never my stance. And I never even made any statements alluding to I'm blaming the white friends as it's being said about me. I literally did what I did just to hear further what was going on in the background. I wasn't doing it intentionally to go try and find something, because that's completely out of my league. I'm not an investigator. I'm not a detective. I'm not in that lane. I'm an audio engineer, and by profession, I am trained to literally listen for noise, clean up noise, enhance dialogue, clean dialogue. And so my mind, as I'm sitting there, I'm doing what I do on a day-to-day basis. And so when I heard certain things, it started feeling like you're watching a movie and your favorite character, you see the antagonist is setting up your favorite character, and now they about to get got. Hearing some of those things, it hurt. I wasn't expecting to hear a female voice. Can we cover it up? Yeah, I thought all about that. Like,
wow.
I remember, like, my mind was like, wait a minute, what?
Wow.
I must have played. I looped it and played it so many times. Like,
I hear that.
Am I hearing it? Like, I can't believe it was like a bit of, I can't believe I'm hearing this. And am I hearing this? Trying to trick myself out of not wanting to believe that that's what I was hearing. And that to me is the I guess the craziest part of this whole ordeal, because where the hate is coming from, they really think I did that to try and set these friends up. But it's like, no, I did that to just, like I said, bring awareness to what was happening in the background, because I was shocked that nobody else had really made note of that, or it hadn't been mentioned to the public that that file was being investigated or looked into. So yeah, hearing those things, it really did, it disturbed me. It was mentally and emotionally taxing. I had to take my headphones off and take a break from it a few times. And that's why the first time I originally released only 37 seconds of it, because I was just out of disbelief. And that's why I stopped at, damn it, Bart, Nolan's really dead now. Because at that point, that name was brand new to me. I asked my wife, like, who is Bart? Like, where did this name and where did this person come from? And then when I played it for her, and she was like, yeah, and why would they say Nolan's really dead now? Like, that insinuates something, like dead now, like something was going on and now they took it too far. Like, he's really dead now. And that hurt, Willie, like that really hurt to hear that, because that was not on my mind, body, heart, or spirit to hear anything like that at all.
Do you have any fear that they will try to come after you right now for any, like, being liable as far as defamation or whatever? Because right now they're trying to spook all the content. Evidence might be connected to them. They're trying to pretty much get their names out of people's mouths unless people are saying something nice about them.
I think most of it has been just cyberbullying. If anybody was going to reach out to me, I think legally, on like the legal side of things, if anybody on the legal side, the attorneys and stuff, if they were going to reach out to me, they would have done it if I truly did anything wrong. And so, like I said, I'm just taking my time in that aspect, because at the end of the day, I know I didn't do nothing wrong. I didn't point the blame at anybody. Even when I put the video out, I said, this is just my interpretation. Like, I want y'all to listen to it and y'all be the judge. Like, you tell me what you heard.
She definitely
so
said
I never really blamed anyone. It was more so to open the door for the conversation to be had, because a lot of us heard something. A lot of us were also told that Nolan decided to stay behind. So he shouldn't have been on the boat to begin with. We shouldn't have heard his name being yelled. And that was one of the things that stood out too. Like, just hearing Nolan, hearing the screams of his name and Nolan, don't die.
Did you expect?
How are we going to yell something like that if he's not on the boat?
Right.
Facts.
Right. Did you expect your work to become so controversial?
I didn't. My wife did, but I didn't.
How long did it take you to decide to put it out? From the time that you heard those words and you were certain what you were hearing was those words, how long did it take you to decide to go public?
If you sit on the toilet, bear down, and barely anything comes out. You don't have constipation, you have poop paralysis. And the difference between the two is everything. It's why
I'd say maybe like a hour or so, because I made a post that morning about what I had heard and how it was already concerning and questionable to me. And I said, and this is coming from a professional audio engineer, and I haven't even touched it yet. So imagine what I'd hear when I, clean it up. And when I made that post, that kind of gained traction and a lot of engagement. And there were people saying, hey, sis, we waiting on this clean audio. And so I was going to go ahead and, be a woman of my word and stick to what I said and clean it. And when I cleaned it, I sat and spoke with Ash. I spoke with my wife and I really put thought into it. Like, how should I release this? Should I share what I think I heard? And confirmation bias. Like we literally weighed out all the options and put real deep thought into it. We kind of discussed, like, we knew what was going to come with it, but I had no idea it would be to this capacity. But I sat with it for at least somewhere between an hour and two before I actually uploaded it.
Right. So what kind of steps have you taken to protect yourself? I saw that you guys started what it was some type of crowdfunding. What was it?
Yeah, Give, Send, Go.
It was Give, Send, Go. Next time y'all do any type of crowdfunding, go to Unite Give. Unite Give. Look it up. But anyway, rooted in justice, the real deal, and you ain't gonna get kicked off the platform because of your opinion.
Gotcha.
Yeah, right. So check this out.
That's sad that people can't have their own opinion and do their own thing.
The cat is out the bag, and and people are coming at you and everything. Like, what steps are you taking, to protect yourself and your family? Now, also, what's that Unite? Well, what's that Give, Send, Go?
What do you mean? What is it?
What is it? Like, what's the title of it? So people can go and donate.
I don't know the title of it. My wife created it, and it's basically in the link of all my bios across social media. Let me see.
Yes, it's very sad.
Hold on, I'm gonna get you.
Support for our family after threats and hate.
After this, yeah. So
people can't have their own opinions. That's why I try not to put none of them on my thumbnail for the reason why, y'all. I don't want none of their attention over on my platform. I really don't, because I don't want to start getting the stuff in the chat and all of that. So that's why I try to eliminate. I just try to keep Nolan on my thumbnail, or maybe his mom, dad, or something like that. But for them, I try not to put them on my thumbnail. I just don't want the heat to come to my platform. I really don't. Because I don't got time to be arguing with them people, because it's so sad that people can have their own opinion on how they feel about this case, or they got to be railroad and talk nasty about and being called out. It's just sad. It's sad. It's a worldwide case. Everybody having an entitlement to their own opinion. What this lady said, she didn't want nobody to agree with her. She plainly simple said on her platform, everybody got their own opinion. How y'all feel about it, what y'all hear. Y'all let me know what y'all heard. She said that on Instagram, because I follow her on Instagram. So that's exactly what she said. So, all them coming at her, and it's just crazy work. It is. It's crazy.
Let's go over that. Now, what are you going to use the funds for?
A legal counsel and security if need be. And that's what we're doing. The steps we're taking now to make sure that we remain safe is we're actively looking into just an attorney that's not just any attorney, but a good attorney, like legal counsel, to make sure that we go about everything the right way.
That's right.
Like I said, in security for the most part. I've been telling people, I never did any of this for no type of monetary gain, nor was I thinking all of this was going to come from it. This was actually, go ahead.
No, you finish it.
No, I was going to say this was actually suggested by supporters saying that, you know, they want to support, they know how people are, they see the hate, they see the threats, they see what we're going through, they see the doxing and things like that. And so they were saying, yeah, no, y'all need to go ahead and try to obtain legal counsel, because
Yeah, absolutely.
this is not fair, and we want to support in any way that we can. And
and I'm glad that they did suggest that, because let me tell you something. We got to get used
good supporters.
to
God bless
the
us.
idea that nothing is free. Not even activism. You know, freedom ain't even free, right? Freedom is not free. Peace is not free. You got to pay for that, and we got to get used to it, because the uncivilized must understand. When they, it don't matter it don't matter what they do, they're gonna find an audience.
That's true, Monica.
Who is going to immediately symbolical. They're going to find an audience of people who are going to go out there and raise 100,000, $500,000, $1 million for them, because they understand that they have a particular agenda, and as long as somebody is supporting that agenda, then they're going to support them. So if our people are supporting a particular agenda that keeps us safe or protects us or paints us in a positive light, if our people are under attack, we have to understand that we're under attack. If it happened to them, it could happen to us. When our people fight back, we need to make sure that we help fund their legal defenses, because they're going to always come for Black. So we got to get used to that notion, be on automatic, on code, automatic, on code. And we got it. We got it. It ain't got, everybody got $5. Everybody got $5. Got a high five. Everybody got a high five. You know, everybody got a high five, high 10. We got it. We got it. We just got to get used to, looking out for each other, because we on our own out here.
We all we got.
We all we got for real. And we got to get used to that notion. You know, when I heard that audio was cleaned up, I went straight to it. And when I saw it was a sister, I was like, yeah, hell yeah.
She did a good job with it. I ain't gonna lie. She did a good job cleaning that video.
Then when I listened to you break it down and you talked about why you did it, and I heard you talked about the steps that you took, because I understand, I use logic too. So I understood when you said that, I was like, yeah. And I knew I already knew it wasn't manipulated, because you wouldn't put yourself in audio enhancement tools. So if it's there, they're gonna find it. And I'm sure if they're interested in hearing the cleanup version, if they're interested in it, I'm sure that they already know what it says. They know, right? And it's no way possible that you can have that audio like that and not be making an arrest. And yeah, I said it. I ain't scared of you, motherfucker. I ain't scared of you at all. Yeah, I said it. Ain't no way possible you got that kind of information. At the very least, everybody on that boat got to be investigated at the very least. One of y'all killed him. I don't know which one, but one of y'all killed him. That's right, I said it. One of y'all killed him. I don't know.
Everything. That's exactly why I did it.
I don't know which one, but one of y'all killed him. And because it's more than one voice being heard, it's more than one person that's an accessory to that murder. And so that's why people are talking. That's why people are asking questions. That's why people are pointing fingers. If you don't want them to point the finger at you, then tell what you know. Come clean. And any of y'all all out there listening to me, all you lawyers out there that's representing the boys. I know it's Mississippi and y'all thinking y'all gonna get away with whatever you did if you really in the wrong, you think you're gonna get away. But let's say God show up and somebody get held accountable. You want to make sure your client gets the best deal possible. So you need to go talk to your client and say, come on, man, you know, shit, they ain't buying it, man. They ain't buying it. They ain't figured it out. Come on, let's get a deal. Let's try to get a deal. Get your client a deal right now. Y'all know whoever go to the authorities first and tell what they know going to get the best deal. You get to control the narrative. You don't want to be sitting, laying up in the house, sleep or whatever, and they come knock on the door, or you don't want to be out there on the boat again and they come out there, sir, come with us. You don't want that to happen. Right now, you got control of how it go down. Go in there and walk on in there right now and say, okay, let me tell you, I'm gonna complain. It's been messing with my conscience. I've done a lot of stuff, but I thought I'd be able to get away with this murder, but it ain't gonna work. So I'm telling you what I know. I'm just saying, you know, I don't know how that's how they would say it. Jeanette, I don't know how that's how they'll say it, but it should go something with that. That's all I'm saying.
Something
like that. And I am saying that thank you absolutely for coming on the show, and thank you for the work that you put in. What you did was historical. Some of us intentionally go out and try to get and be included in history and then get in the history books. You put yourself in the history books. That right there, what you did, you put yourself in the history books. Boy, I wish I could have became a legend without even trying. I had to go work for mine. I had to go work. But you know what? That's your cumulative work, you know, because you've been doing this. You know what I'm saying? And boom, you know, something like this happened and you wasn't even trying. That's for all y'all out there that's doing your thing and you're thinking about giving up or whatever. Just keep on going, stay in line. Because if you move your meat, you lose your seat. So just stay in line, and eventually your time will come. Janetta, I appreciate you. I appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
Natalie. Yeah. No more talk.
I think she did a good job, y'all. What do y'all think? I think she did a good job. It's sad that people are coming after her. I can't wait till she go to Nancy Grace. I want to see what she's gonna say on Nancy Grace. I don't know when she's going on Nancy Grace, but I do know that Nancy Grace will be interviewing her. And that's the thing, you know, everybody want to say this and say that, you know, talk about Nolan and her mother, and you know, maybe, you know, Nolan and them parents ain't saying everything. Maybe they know more. They're just not gonna say nothing till the time is right. You know, same thing about Ben Crump. He ain't gonna say everything. He got to hold some stuff in. He can't tell the public everything. You know, so that's just the way it is when it comes to a case like this. But I'm like that lady that I just played that video, y'all. I don't know. It's just taking too long. That shit been ready. I believe it been ready. I know they said that, you know, it was going to grand jury to see what grand jury want to do with it before they release it. So now we got to wait and see what grand jury going to say about it. Is it going to be this month? We never know. I don't know. What they're going to say? Y'all think they're going to come out with some old crazy stuff? Or do y'all think they're going to have somebody arrested for this? Because being that I know how they is, I don't know really what to say. You know? And you know, because the mom is a judge, the boy daddy a doctor, and oh man, it's just too much. It is definitely too much. Yeah, I believe they know more too. They just ain't gonna say nothing right now. I mean, I don't blame them. You can't get it public too much. You know, because some people, I don't know. I looked at one channel. I don't know. They always talking about, oh, an update on Nolan Wells. Ain't no updates on him. The only updates I'm waiting to hear is the autopsy. That's it. That's why when I see people put that stuff on their thumbnail, I don't even go and listen because there ain't no updates. You know, everybody wanted, I don't know, people just do things, I guess, for clicks and views and all that stuff. Yes. I don't know. I ain't heard no updates yet. Only updates I heard about the woman got arrested. And the only reason I ain't talk on her because she ain't worth talking on for the simple fact she made a dumb decision. And it's not about Nolan. People always talking about some Nolan supporters. No, these people do what the hell they want to do. Now, that lady knew them threats would get her in jail. She knew that. You going to sit here and call the judge's phone and leave threatening recordings? Come on now. You knew better than that. Come on. I ain't calling nobody's phone for nothing. You think I would, babe, I would never have my phone number on her recording. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. That lady called that judge's phone and left threatening messages, and they found her by her phone number. They found her by her phone number. Mm-hmm. And the guy, they found him by his email. I say, Lord, have mercy. Girl. Everybody with good sense should know you don't fuck with no law enforcement. Yeah. She left threatening messages, and they found her by her phone number. And people already said the phone number was hooked up to her office, so why would you even? I don't know, y'all. That's crazy. I forgot what state she was in. I forgot what state. Yeah, she was wrong for that. She was real wrong. Like, some stuff you just can't do. I don't know what made her do some shit like that. I guess maybe she thought if she leave a recording, she won't get caught. No. Do you know law enforcement, that's how they identify people? By their IP addresses and with their email. You know, they're going to send your phone number to a phone company to find out what state that person in, who name this number is under, the address. They can find out all kinds of shit. So I don't even know why she went that route. But my thing is, people been threatening Nolan and them family too. But y'all ain't trying to find them people that's been threatening Nolan and them family. Sending her a threatening letter to her house. Y'all ain't asked her to bring that letter in so y'all can dissect that letter to see where that letter came from. No, they ain't do that. Not at all. They didn't do none of that. Why can't their family get the same respect? Y'all want to respect the judge and lock people up when it comes to threatening her? Okay, yeah, I grant you that because you don't supposed to do that. But in the meanwhile, do the same thing to Nolan and them family. Their family don't deserve this neither. Shit, their son ain't even been gone a month. Well, I think tomorrow will make a month that he passed away. Yeah, tomorrow. And then I think his birthday is like in 2 weeks or 3 weeks or something like that. Yeah. You know? How you think she gonna feel? Tomorrow makes a month. He been gone. Then his birthday is this month. Man, I just can't imagine. You know, they want this family to sit back, be quiet. And then some people, they even get upset. Oh, she not saying this and she not saying that. Well, maybe she don't want to. Maybe she don't want to. Maybe she feel like she will debunk things when it's necessary. When she feel it's not necessary, she's not going to do it. And you can tell she's not a drama type person. She ain't even really want to say Mr. Potato name on Don show that day. She didn't really want to address him. If y'all watched it, she really didn't. But she knew he was lying. And then you got people going around here saying, his birthday's the 19th. Okay. 2 days after my son's birthday. You know, people saying that Nolan didn't live with her and he stayed with a friend for a long time. She debunked that lie, I can tell you that. She said, my son ain't never stayed with nobody. My son always had a home. Yes, she did. She made a post about that because I seen it. So that's why I say, you know, she probably debunked things that she feel is necessary. Things that she feel not as necessary, she probably won't debunk it. And then maybe once the autopsy is out and, you know, whatever it may be, maybe she may come out and say more things, you know. That's because somebody's not saying nothing. It doesn't mean they don't really know what's going on, or it doesn't mean they don't see what's going on. Right now, it's always a time and a place for everything. Always. And I know sometimes people want people to do what they want to do right then and say what they want to say right then. Well, everybody's not like that. Everybody's just not like that. You know, so anything, I think, you know, but I'm going to tell you this before I get off here. If I was her, I would not allow them boys to use my son's name on their GoFundMe. That is a no-no. Soon as I seen that baby, my attorney would have been contacting GoFundMe. I promise you on that. Yeah. You're not going to use my son's name. For the simple fact, it was too many of y'all out there on that island and nobody knows what happened to my son. I don't care. Okay? Y'all putting out lies about my son. No. Y'all definitely want to use my son's name. My attorney would have been contacting the GoFundMe people. You can take the whole account down, or you can leave the account up and take my son's name. I don't want my son's name in nothing. You're not going to sit here and make money and get clout off of my son, because y'all was not that boyfriend. And then you got some YouTubers saying, yeah, people going around, you know, saying that, you know, they're friends and, you know, no, they were not friends. No. You can clear the hair from Warren. No. No friends was there at all. Maybe it's just me, but no. Exactly. When I seen that, I'm like, wait a minute, they got Nolan name in this? And I said to myself, well, why do the mother see this? Because, girl, I said, no way. Like, no way. No way. But the mom and the dad got to be the only one to, you know, make them take the name out. I don't know if they don't want to. I don't know. But you're not going to gain money off my child. And what y'all going to do with the money? Y'all family's supposed to have a lot of money. Y'all supposed to be big shot. Y'all shouldn't need a GoFundMe. And Warren's father, I believe that he came out with that reward because Nolan's name is too popular out here all over social media. And then have y'all noticed when that video dropped of Warren, that's when he came out with that $50,000 or whatever it was to help with Nolan. He only did that when that video surfaced. When that video surfaced and went viral, that's when he did that. And I noticed that. Yep, they are trying to no. Yep. Do y'all think the mother seen it? And she just not going to say anything? I said, oh, he got a reward for Nolan. I say, now what is this about? I said, oh, I know what it's about. That recording. That recording. They were just, yes, auntie, I believe that too, because they kept talking about that. They kept talking about that. But now look at them with a GoFundMe. They deserve to have a GoFundMe up. They deserve it. I don't think she's working right now. She probably took time off, due to her son. They're trying to get the lady to lose her job. They leave bad reviews on the lady's job. They do all kind of nasty stuff to that lady. I'm sure she have seen it. Yeah. Yeah, she probably is very disgusted. Yeah, you're right. He probably did tell her to don't say nothing. That's sad. That's sad. You should be giving that reward to your son. That's what you should be giving a reward to. Get a reward to your son and ask your son what really happened out there on that island. Ask him what really happened. He was there. He going all around on platforms and stuff, with Mr. Potato Head, and having interviews with him. Give it to him. See, some people are just so stupid. They're going to look at it. Oh, that was so nice of him. That's so kind. He wants to really find out what happened to Nolan. No, that's not the way I look at that. I mean, if anybody else want to look at it like that, that's y'all opinion. But no, that's not the way I look at that. I look at that as that video, that recording came out. That's when he dropped that money. Before that, no. Right after that damn recording came out, that's when he dropped that money. And why he dropped it? Because he know damn well ain't nobody gonna come out here and say a doggone thing. He knows that. And he know he gonna still keep his money in his pocket. Because he know ain't nobody said shit yet. So what make you think somebody gonna say something now? Look at Ben Crump. Look how long they done had theirs out. And nobody still came forward. So what make you think somebody gonna come forward for your money? No, give it to your son and ask your son what happened out there. He can tell you better because he was there. He was there. Yeah. He can tell you better than anybody. Shit, get him the money. Yeah, they're attacking her job. Yep, and they're trying to protect him. Yep. That's why I said get the money to him. All y'all get together and talk about it. Let's be honest, boys. What happened? Now, I haven't heard nothing else from Jovan and his mom and the brother. Haven't heard nothing else from him. So, unless y'all heard something. Because I don't follow none of them, so. And for him I would just like to know, what time did he leave the island, him and his brother? What time did they leave? And when, and before they left, where did y'all see Nolan at? Did Nolan look like he was in good spirit? Do he look like he was drunk? What was he talking about? Who he was around? Yeah. What time did y'all leave? What boat did y'all come back on? Who was on y'all boat? Who picked y'all up? A lot of questions to be asked. There's a lot of questions still can be asked, but you know, some people, they're not going to ask them questions. But I don't know, y'all. If anyone likes to donate, they can. It's pinned at the bottom. I'm ready to get off of here. I don't put none of them on my thumbnail. I can't wait till this autopsy come out. I just can't wait, y'all. I'm dying to see what it's gonna say. I'm dying to see if anybody gonna be charged. It really is. It really is. Because I know once that autopsy come out, oh, baby, YouTube street's going to be on fire. It's going to be on fire. I hope I can keep up with it. So, we'll see. But thanks everybody for timing in. I appreciate you guys so much. I love you guys, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all day, and y'all be blessed, and you keep God first. I love you guys, and I will see you guys tomorrow.